Although Beijing is not part of the Quad grouping of nations, the recently concluded Quad Security Dialogue Summit in the United States ended up resolving to counter the rise of China, particularly in the Indo-Pacific region. So was China conspicuous with its absence at the Quad Summit? News9 Plus Decodes. At the 6th Summit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi made a remark that many observers feel is as a thinly veiled reference to China. PM Modi said that the Quad is not against anyone. He said all Quad members support a rules-based international order and respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity. This is being perceived as a subtle reference to China's territorial disputes in the South and East China Seas, where it asserts claims of sovereignty. US President Joe Biden was not so subtle. He stated that China was testing them while attempting to buy diplomatic space for itself. Not just this, the paragraph on the South China Sea in the Quad Declaration was more strongly worded than in previous summits. What are the other key takeaways from Quad 2024? One of the most significant initiatives being widely discussed is the Quad Cancer Moonshot. This joint effort plans to reduce cancer in the Indo-Pacific region. It will initially focus on preventing cervical cancer. Prime Minister Modi announced India's commitment of $7.5 million to the project. The initiative will be based on an integrated approach focused on prevention, screening, diagnosis, and treatment. The collaboration announced the first Quad at Sea Ship Observer mission. This project is aimed at improving interoperability between the members via the sea. Another significant launch was the Quad Indo-Pacific Logistics Network. This project will focus on improving civilian responses to natural disasters rapidly. A memorandum of cooperation for semiconductors was also finalized. This will become the basis for strengthening cooperation in the supply chain for semiconductors. The UN Security Council will be reformed to make the platform more inclusive, transparent, efficient, and accountable. President Joe Biden committed a permanent membership for India in the reformed UN Council to feature India's important global voice. Quad partners agreed to launch Maitri, or the Maritime Initiative for Training in the Indo-Pacific, to monitor and secure their waters and deter unlawful behavior. The leaders also introduced Quad Ports of the Future Partnership. This will help in developing port infrastructure, resulting in easy sharing of resources between the member countries. So which Quad initiatives will India champion? India will play a key role in implementing multiple Quad initiatives. PM Modi said India will be responsible for transporting deliverables to the member countries. India will help address cervical cancer through its indigenous cancer vaccine developed by the Serum Institute of India and the Department of Biotechnology. India will also offer technical assistance to interested countries in the Indo-Pacific region for cancer care. Plus, India will set up a space-based web portal for Mauritius to monitor climate impacts. Also, a $2 million investment will be made to set up solar projects in Fiji, Comoros, Madagascar, and Seychelles. India will provide scholarships for 4-year bachelor's degrees in engineering at government institutes for students in the Indo-Pacific region. It will also host a capacity-building workshop with Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure, or CDRI. What did world leaders say about India's role in Quad? In a press interaction, US President was asked if Quad would continue after the US elections. He replied with a commitment to continuance beyond that. He appreciated Prime Minister Modi and called him a good friend. Japanese Premier Fumio Kishida extended his support to PM Modi's initiative of organizing a Global Voice of South Summit. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese described India as a predominant power in the Indian Ocean. India will host the next Quad Summit in 2025.